Top right-hand side, a fresh new best of 3 here in the WardiTV Spring Championship Korean group stage. The red Terran player from the shop of 5, ByuN. Give it up if you're cheering on ByuN. As he goes up against the blue Protoss down in that bottom left-hand corner, it is Trap from the Afrika Freaks. And again, these games were played... It's just, I mean, imagine a lot of people want reference to when these were played with regards to Trap's GSL match, which was obviously today. This was played about a week and a bit ago. I believe he did play some... I believe this one was from like 9 days ago. The other PVTs he played, I think, were yesterday, on Tuesday. So 2 days ago. So, yeah. Alrighty, so just going to be seeing our build right now. Let's see what Trap and ByuN have in store for us. I'm excited about this. That's going to be seeing our Nexus going down, Pylon, the Cybercore building, and the Orbital Command just building up into the main base. Again, they're ready to go. Command Center will set up on that natural as well. And just going to be seeing the Nexus building from Trap here too. So like I say, nothing too much just yet. Yeah, I've seen Trap playing a fair amount of Stalkers and a lot of Phoenix as well, actually, the last few days. Now, guys, I'm just going to preface this by saying I was asleep during GSL, so I did not see any of the GSL games. So if Trap starts doing something that happened in GSL, I'm not going to be able to be like, that was in GSL, because I was asleep because I woke up early to cast some other Starcraft, so I've not caught up on it yet. So, because I know someone will be like, God, Wardy, did you not watch GSL? Do you have zero passion? Do I need to take away my non-existent subscription from you? So before you all get outraged, preface, I was asleep, I was casting SE2, I took a nap after while GSL was on, okay? So if something happens similar to GSL, sorry, you're just going to have to shout at yourselves. I don't care. As these few Marines are just going to be hanging out. Obviously, like I say, this was played before GSL, but, you know, people will always be like, well, it's obvious Trap likes to do this, because I saw him do it in GSL. Oh, I could be a StarCraft 2 caster myself. People do that all the time. It's great. It's one of our great favorite things as as StarCraft commentators. I told this story not so long ago. I'll quickly gloss over it again, but one time, the guys were casting like DreamHack Montreal or WCS Montreal or something, and GSL was on that morning. Obviously, the time zones didn't line up, so it's like, you know, they have like a 9 a.m. call time, and GSL started at like 3 a.m. or something. And apparently Twitch chat got mad at them because somebody used a build that was used in GSL that same day, and all Twitch chat was a spam of, our casters don't even watch their own game. So, obviously that's an extreme circumstance, but it does happen. As this is just going to be 4-gate blink as well, so Trap going to keep it simple to start off with at least. There's a couple of Marines going to be on the way out. The Adept in the back here is going to be chased around, is going to be hunted. So that Adept will fall, and just going to be seeing our Robo facility about to complete here as well. So getting that Robo finished up. Starport is going to swap over to that Tech Lab, so Raven will begin. And this Rack's just going to drop down here as well, so just getting that going. As the setup just gets underway. Everything looking good at the moment with this medevac. Going to start flying out over to the left-hand side. We're going to go boosting in toward the main base where we've got a couple of Stalkers able to turn that away immediately. Obviously, Blink wasn't done just yet, but just being in position right now was enough to just stop this medevac in its tracks. And ByuN unsuccessful in the early stages. Now, as the Raven kicks in, the tank pops up. This is where the defense starts to come around. This is where we start to see just how well Terran player can do it. Holding off these Blink Stalkers. ByuN completely misses the information that this Prism is here. Throws up the Widow Mine, but obviously these units already pushing up the top. About to blink into the main. Tank ain't siege just yet. Okay, so we do move in. We just have a little blink up. Obviously, it's not a ton of Stalkers just yet either, as I guess like a bunch of them, 3 of them are still back at home, afraid of the medevac drop, which obviously, as we have seen, has come back home now. So, yeah, now maybe Trap seeing that medevac can bring his other Stalkers across. In fact, he already was, as this Widow Mine is found, is going to go down without getting a kill. A little unfortunate. Did the other one get a kill? The other one's being cleaned up and he killed a Stalker, so maybe it did. Oh, high ground vision. How about that for blink in, insta-tank kill? And you're in position as well to take down the bunker. That's a beautiful blink from Trap. I mean, that positioning was absolutely spot on what it needed to be. This is problematic for ByuN. I mean, you lose one tank like that and the bunker in quick succession. It puts you in some troubling positions. We are going to have these Stalkers maybe want to try and micro out of this situation. A lot of SCVs going down as they were pulled in to try and help defend the natural. ByuN is going to hold out the front as Trap falls back down to the low ground. That stim pack's about halfway done. The +1 attack upgrade is on the way in as well. Just going to be seeing these few Stalkers continuing out to the far right-hand side of the Raven. Coming through too. The Stalkers looking like they might pop a little blink up into this main base again. So into the main we go. Marauder already gets shot down. These few depots are in some trouble also. So that gets picked off. We go back and forward a little bit, and Trap is just getting way too much done. Like, this is more than just successful. This is almost game-ending, I want to say, damage that Trap is doing here. The tank count he's denied, the depots, the supply blocks, it's all adding up. He's taking a third base behind it. He's already on his way to that charge upgrade. All of the pieces of this puzzle are just flying into place from Trap. He basically opened the jigsaw box, and this puzzle was put together for him. Because that's just how well he's doing in this game. ByuN just didn't scramble the pieces well enough, and he is just getting picked apart right now. Just going to pull out to the right-hand side. The Prism is going to pull away down the bottom. Just going to be seeing the charge coming through. The Immortal is producing. You have a Forge and a Templar Archives building up as well. Scan that setup as our few Stalkers continue around the right into the center. We'll scan out onto the natural, trying to see, trying to keep some info as to what is up at the moment as our concussive shells is going to be building now. These Marauders and Marines continue now too as our bio army. I mean, all said and done, what Trap is basically forced ByuN into is a 2-base attack, and that's going to happen right now. And what I do like here for ByuN, he's got +1 attack against no armor upgrades, so he will chew through Zealots pretty nicely. And he is dropping a little bit. Good play from Trap to obviously distract ByuN, but now ByuN sees that recall. There should be no reason for him not to go just straight across this map here and to try and fight, because there is no long-term game plan for ByuN. You know, the way this game has gone, he does not have a setup for the future. This is very much so a win-this-now kind of scenario. If he doesn't win this now, well, Trap's just got this in the bag, right? Like, that's just where we are at. This one High Templar was looking for feedback on the Raven, couldn't find the range on it just yet. It was kept pretty far back. It was kept a little bit safe, so nicely handled in that regard as we are going to start running forward. Zealots and Stalkers going to make some moves. Blinking on top of these tanks. I mean, this happens before the SCVs get here, which is obviously disastrous. And ByuN with the SCVs somehow makes something happen against what is a high Stalker count. He's got a lot of Marauders. Is there any way? The triple Immortal will probably suggest no, there is not. As to be fair, there really shouldn't be a way to win this, right? As ByuN right now, the way this early game went, it was horrendous for him. It was really, really bad. So, yeah, as the SCVs pull, they were just a little late, a little sooner, and maybe it could have made the difference because ByuN was quite high up on army supply in comparison to Trap before Trap got a warp in. If the SCVs could have been there and made that little 10 extra army supply difference, perhaps, then all of a sudden you're maybe talking about a different game where ByuN does overwhelm and at least puts a bit more pressure on Trap, maybe can start to deny the third base or so. Maybe there's a world where that can work out there. But this was obviously like worst case scenario. ByuN was not ready to fight. SCVs weren't here. And Trap just jumped on it at the right time. Got on top of the siege tanks pretty much immediately as well. And because the Zealots were able to charge through easily, the Stalkers didn't even get punished for going on top of the tanks right away. ByuN has seen this observe and he will scan for it as it gets taken down. We've got a Prism up the top side as well. So that's going to be moving through and into the natural, sorry. So Zealot's going to be showing up, just going to be having the attack in the main continuing. I mean, the Stalker's still backing away down the right side. I feel like this is looking as though it's going to be pretty much it, right? I mean, ByuN's going to attack one more time. He has got 1-1 against 0-0. Tanks get sieged, but the Immortal Archon flank. Zealots on top of those tanks. SCV's going down on the other side. That should, like I say, never really be a way for ByuN to win this game. But alas, Trap does take the first map here. There's some pretty spectacular 4-gate blink aggression. That 4-gate blink put some serious hurt. So we're just going to go non-stop and just keep them coming. Top left-hand side is going to be the red Terran player. This is ByuN. He is down one map, and a horrible start for him obviously led to a defeat in the end. And even on top of that initially was a... even on top of that initially it was kind of sad. It was like, you know, one of those situations where not only was it a bad start, but then everything was just slightly off time after that too. Like, Trap jumped on that army just before the SCVs got there. Really took any option ByuN had away from him, as Trap did play the first game rather outstandingly. And we'll see if he can repeat and bring that again going into game 2 now. Command Side is an actual song by Nightwish. There you go. That's what the map is named after. Probe is going to move up into the main now as Iraq's off to that left-hand side, and as this probe comes through, it is going to scout into the main base and to try and see just what the plan may be. STV just going to pull to the right and... Sorry, then chase the probe, just check nothing's building. It is a Zealot early on from Trap. Because... I mean, you saw the racks? Okay, did he not see the racks initially, so he was thinking it was a proxy? I think he only just saw this racks as he came back in the second time, so... That's maybe caused him to build the Zealot there for a moment or two before being like, oh, right, I don't need that. Cancels it up and builds the Nexus. I think that's what just happened. That's the only reason I can imagine ByuN builds this to the left side as well, because if a probe comes up this ramp initially and goes up, and they probably don't see the racks on the left, but it still keeps it in the main, so like I say, minor quick mind game going on there. CC will land as the factory is going to be swapping over to the reactor, and a couple of Hellions will be able to build. He actually cancels one Hellion to make them spawn in sync, which is... It seems kind of crazy, but actually it's quite nice. Obviously, this expansion does come down post-factory, so it's a bit of a later expansion here. This Adept is going to show up. I mean, 2 Hellions will shut that down. Was just wondering if those Hellions were going to be here in time to actually get onto that Adept, or what that situation was maybe going to be. As the Adept shades up the ramp in towards the main base, our Hellions just going to hold out on that ramp as well as the probe comes through. Now, Adeptive Trap is going to be backing away out down the bottom right-hand side. Robo Facility coming through into the main base. And getting that Warp Gate, not far from finishing here. As we just have a couple of additional probes also building up. Nice catch on this pylon. So Trap trying to get a pylon up and running. He actually just wants to go... What does he want to go for? Gates into this Robo, what's he afraid of, actually? Is the Robo because he's afraid of, like, a fast Widow Mine drop? With, like, an armory or so? And he wants detection, or... He's also building a battery in the main. He's very afraid of what ByuN is doing, when ByuN's actually just going to run 4 Hellions into the natural. And is going to start getting some kills. Now, a couple Stalkers warping across the map. 4, 5 workers going down. He's going to get a couple more. I would say this is not bad at all, considering that this was just a couple of Hellions, or 4 Hellions. No medevac needed, or anything along those lines. And these couple of probes were not initially in range of the battery. I felt like that was maybe more damage. Obviously, this Hellion run by turns into a scout as well, getting information on the main base, seeing what's going on here. Really good information to have. We also have a few SCVs went down. These couple of Stalkers got active. But it looks like the setup now from ByuN should be safe enough to push back any other pressure. He obviously knew something was coming with the pylon that he saw being proxied. He knew Trap was at least intending initially to try and do some damage here. Just trying to work around that. Just going to see these couple of sentries are going to be finishing up with the observer heading across the upper left-hand side of the map. Raven is about to finish here from ByuN in the main base. Siege tank coming through, a couple of additional Marines on the way. A lot of stuff just rallying out to the right side at the moment as we do have a Rax going to be finishing up. A couple of mules land into the natural. Observer continues to fly this around the top and is going to be setting up to maybe move in toward the main base here. Stim pack coming up, and everything really is just, well, developing on. So here's the thing for Trap. His build, because it's a robot, doesn't give him a lot of map control in the sense of what like Phoenix would give you or what like Blink Stalkers would give you. Yeah, you can build some observers and see what's going on, but you're not going to be like having a presence on the map. The best presence you can take would be to go into a War Prism, which is not currently happening. He is going into just Immortal production. So I'm kind of watching out for that. Intrigued to see how that's going to develop as this hallucination flies through this top side, moving in, trying to see what's going on. Hallucination does get picked off as the Marines and the Viking going to get that kill. Max going to lift off, Stim pack and the +1 attack upgrades coming through. A couple of additional medevacs also on the way in right now. Feedback actually came in from the High Templar. Hits that Raven before it can drop anything, so it's actually nice to drop the Order Turret over here. Did it get a kill the Raven? Yeah, I killed an Observer that was on that right side, so that's both the Observers down. And that means new ones to be built, which is a gas expense. 75 gas every time. Can't understate, or can't overstate, sorry, the other way around. Can't overstate how important that gas income is affected by the Observer production. You know, it's pretty chunky. Ooh, Trap? He's going to see the medevacs and maybe glimpsed a Marine on the right side too. He's on his way to Storm. Storm is not quite done yet. Trap has been, and a lot of the pros players have been fond of this faster Stormer gain in PvT lately, rather than playing into the Robobay and the Colossi / Disruptors. We've been seeing a lot more Storm openings, and you know, Zest going as far to put High Templars and Prisms and to try and Storm drop mineral lines has made for a pretty entertaining watch, to be honest. Key position from ByuN, going to work from the low ground. Tanks firing away. Some more Marines coming in, just pushing those Stalkers back. Probes are taking some damage. The pylon being picked away at as well, so just going to see this medevac loading up. He's going to pull back a little bit. This army of traps still set out in the center. Looks like it wants to try and make a play onto this army here. Here we go. Storm on top of a couple of tanks. Zealot's going to go down. The tank fire is pretty darn good so far. As we do see Trap will probably get a cleaner, but at a pretty big expense. And when you look at resources lost, ByuN has traded much better across the board. And he just did take down, you know, High Templar, Immortal. That's the Archon survived at least. So it wasn't that bad in terms of tech units, but yeah, we will see. Just going to see the rest of this continuing to establish as Enhanced Shockwave is going to be building out of this Ghost Academy. So getting that underway as well. Anti-armor missile going down. Zealots coming through. Another Storm coming in. Oh, Widowmine's going off as these Zealots get picked away at. Archon chasing down the Marauders. The Marauders just about getting out of there. Another Archon going to be finishing up soon. That Enhanced Shockwaves is continuing with the Widowmine production coming through as well. Trap is back to the middle of the map as Bio Army of ByuN. We'll also fall back to the center. And there's a few extra Zealots just going to be coming up as well. Alright, so additional Zealots going to be finishing off shortly. Again, looking for that push around the top side of the map and in toward this third base. Looking to try and push into that. Doesn't really find the opportunity. Zealot's going to come through. Chase down a Widowmine, so Widowmine gets shot down already. And just going to be seeing our Ghosts, Vikings. All of this underway to try and set up as well. Here comes this armory finishing now from ByuN. As these few Marauders will show up, and goodbye to the pylon. Gets that cleaned out. Next is at the front of the 4th base, just getting that established again. This army of ByuN will move around the upper right-hand side, trying to see what it can get up to, where it can go to. Robo facility and Robo being the natural. So the big part of this here from Trap is that he's committing to this tech up, right? He's not just going to sit back and say, right, okay, you know, whatever, we'll get by with a bit of, you know, bit of Storm. He is going to switch to Colossus. He is going to add to this tech account. So Colossus Storm, like I say, has not been something we've seen for a while. A lot of the time the reason for that is just Disruptors really fill the role of Storms. And in the, you know, when Disruptors fill the role of Storms, then why do you need Storm? Because Disruptors kind of do what Storm does. Well, I would almost say being a bit better because it's not energy based, so Disruptor shot can't be, you know, cancelled ahead of time by an EMP. It's a bit more dangerous for the Terran player to play against a Disruptor shot than Storm in general, I'd say. And the Disruptors come out of the same production as the Colossi, so it just makes for a very easy, you know, tech up. You don't need to switch into that Temple Archives. You don't need to invest into anything else. Of course, we can see right now that this is not how Trap has decided to play this. Those are 2 great EMPs, actually. Got to give credit to ByuN there, because those High Templar were split up nicely. He hits both EMPs necessary. Now the Disruptor shot. First one of the game comes through, lands big time. Second one going to connect as well. Uh-oh, big Disruptor shots. However, can ByuN maybe make it up that ramp to do something else? Apparently not just yet. More Disruptors on the way, and even though that Colossus range is coming through, and ByuN has made Vikings, there's not been much use for the Vikings while shutting down a Prism. As Trap again continues to establish that forward base, trying to get the rich Vespene gas on his side. Just aid him in the probe count, because his probe count ain't amazing, so if you can get that rich Vespene gas and have 2 gas mining for half the workers, in a situation like this, that seems like it's going to be a pretty good deal. Now, of course, you can argue that this base may be a bit harder to hold. It's a bit further forward, and while it is up a ramp, it's kind of out there compared to like this base here, and then that keeps you more solidly within this kind of like square setup of bases, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that just, you know, that's just a tighter area to defend than 1, 2, 3, 4. This is way out there, so it really introduces attacks from a whole new direction. So it is a little bit more vulnerable, and you can see that right now. The Bio just going to move up, and even a moment or 2 is just enough to get some damage done. Those ghosts, going to see those High Templar. I mean, they did not die. The battery kept them alive for a bit as ByuN drops back to the right-hand side. The multi-prong from ByuN is going extremely well for him so far, as the Bio unit's going to lift again. Unfortunately, the one unit that does go down to the Disruptor is probably the most valuable of all, being a Ghost. ByuN lifts and leaves to the left. These 2 medevacs trying to escape out the top side. And they will. That's fortunate, because there's quite a few units in there. If they got hunted down, ByuN would take a pretty big hit to his army supply advantage. Trap actually... Okay, he did finish extended thermal lance for a moment. I didn't know if I could see that. Let's see that Zard coming down. Of course, the Ghosts have that enhanced shockwaves. Someone in chat asking about this upgrade, I think. It's enhanced shockwaves. Increases the EMP radius of Ghosts. He's going to push forward, but I'm going to stem. A couple of these Zelds going down. Immortal gets hit by an EMP. The rest of our Zealots taking some damage, and the Bioforce still coming through. This is kind of a fun fight, isn't it? I mean, these Zealots are going to start going down. And then do you have access to get on top of the Arc on Immortal? Apparently not quite enough units for ByuN here to really just jump on top of that after this. As we are going to turn, we are going to pick off that Arc on. The rest of these units continue to back away. There's a couple of Immortals come in. Sense Tower goes down. Disruptor shots not quite going to land onto those medevacs. Immortals still firing, and the Marauders are still pushed away. The Ghosts wanting to come through to try and hit those EMPs fresh off the production tabs. Big EMP hits almost everything. Only thing it didn't hit was the Immortal that didn't have shields anyway, and that's actually a massive EMP. Trap's completely outnumbered here. His army melts, and he completely overvalued his army in that position. He thought he was way better off than he was. And look at this, ByuN just going to instantly load and just drop up to this high ground and deny this base, which he's been gunning for a little while. And there's nothing to really do about it. We're going to see a recall of what? If I'm ByuN, I'm just going to stand the Prism. Has 2 High Templars in with Storms. That's a brave recall. I'm going to be honest, as Marauders are going to chase down Colossi on the right side, and that's going to be additional kills you can't really afford to have happen as Trap. He saves one of them low HP. Not even sure if that's going to be... Okay, it does get super batteried up, so it is going to survive for quite a while as ByuN will turn back, killing some Stalkers as he begins to retreat here. It looks like Trap will finally get through this army of ByuN, as ByuN does reinforce them, maybe not just yet. Hold that thought. It's also +3 attack now finished from ByuN, giving him an upgrade lead in this. Trap is going to GG out as ByuN has too much. Fantastic stuff out of ByuN. Really fun multi-pronged aggression game, kind of going here, there, and everywhere. Bottom right-hand side, tying it up with some pretty fun play. Gotta love watching ByuN, right? There's so many good reasons, so many fun reasons to watch him. He's our Red Terran bottom right from the Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Taking on that blue Protoss top left-hand side, it's Trap. Guys, if you're watching the video on YouTube, because let's face it, it's ByuN. It's a good series. It's also Trap. I mean, Trap doesn't pull people on YouTube like ByuN does. You know, I put Trap in time, people like, put ByuN in the title, and people are like, me, I want to watch it, me, go, watch, yes, me, like. So if you're watching the video, this probably will go on YouTube, then do consider hitting the like button if you're liking the video so far, if you're enjoying the cast, and hit subscribe to see when we upload more. If you're watching on Twitch and you want to do that and help us out on the YouTube channel, YouTube has had, so youtube.com/WardiTV first of all, or !YT in the chat if you want to watch it. But, yeah, so for the first time, this is amazing. For the first time this year, I saw this morning on my YouTube analytics, on my YouTube dashboard, a green tick. You guys know what that means? For the first time this year, we've hit the expected, we've hit the expected number of something in our YouTube analytics that YouTube has for our channel. After, I think it's been like 5-6 months that it's just been like a downward gray arrows, like your numbers are all dropping, they are all terrible, they are all lower than they should be, the algorithm hates you. Today, on number of subscribers in the last 28 days, we hit the bare minimum for a green tick. We're in the zone YouTube predicts for us. Go us, guys. Hell yeah. YouTube on the freaking rise. Honestly, so this is what's funny to me, right? It's just that YouTube's like prediction, like it's just so wrong. Like it's been like literally what, like I really think it's been 5 or 6 months since I've seen a green tick. So in my eyes, YouTube should have like downgraded its expectations of my channel already. But no, we made it, guys. Go us. I honestly think we had a rant about YouTube the other day, and I'll talk about the game in a moment with this concussive shell opening. I had a rant about YouTube the other day, and it honestly feels like the YouTube algorithm felt bad for me or something. It's just like, okay, Wardy, I'll show your games to a few more people. I'll start suggesting you to people that watch Starcraft again. Like, thanks, YouTube. It's made the difference. Didn't change anything else. Absolutely nothing else changed. Just decided to start, YouTube just decided to start promoting us again. So thank you, YouTube. I appreciate that. Big first kill on the Stalker. Obviously something you're always looking for if you're playing this Marauder opening. You're able to come out. You're able to get that slow. That obviously goes very well for you as that blink is coming through. The warp gate coming along quite nicely for the moment. And that stim pack setting up for ByuN in the main base as well. So yeah, so what happens from here is you've killed a Stalker, you're going to come through. This battery is actually going to take some damage. With one Stalker dead, might actually have to pull pros, which he does. Yeah, ByuN's got a decision, and I think here it's not a bad idea to just back away. There's only a Stalker, there's not enough Stalkers to chase you down and get the kills. So back it up, you can't be chased, you force the battery. Why trade out for something you might not kill? At this stage, you've already done a good job. This Marauder opening checked all its boxes. It has done what it needed to do. As we are just going to be seeing the units coming into the middle of the map. So yeah, I'm just going to back it up. Why not keep those Marauders alive for later? You don't see this all the time because sometimes it doesn't quite make sense to. Sometimes you can't if you've not killed a unit early. Your opponent, and you want to go across the map to force the battery to finish, etc. But if you don't get an early unit kill, sometimes these two Marauders are better to just dive by, try and get some damage done, or fight at the front. In this case, yeah, I don't mind him just backing it up. And he's actually going to reinforce an additional Marauder and a few more Marines. Is that enough to actually kill a Stalker if through a shield battery? It doesn't matter really, because there's going to be a super battery available. Well, there isn't actually. We can see there's no energy, but yeah. Okay, okay. Maybe just checking for no fast third base either, which there shouldn't be in this case. Neo's just going to be backing away down that bottom right-hand side. Again, stim is completed. +1 attack is coming in on the engineering bay. The combat shields is starting as well. There's our Robo Bay and our Forge coming through. I'm just going to see another refinery dropping into the natural expansion scan that started up. Now I'm going to move this medevac out. A couple of Widow Mines inside. Coming across to the left. Looking to see what it can try and do in the near future. Charges coming up is going to be finished fairly soon as well. So again, that charge up and running. +1 attack is on the way here. And those couple of gates, +1 attack, combat shield. All of that continuing up for the moment as Trap is going to have this observer coming through and thinking about what it might want to try and get up to. This bio army is also going to move into the middle of the map. So bio army into the center, moving that around to the upper left. And these couple of medevacs just going to go boosting across. Now the Widow Mines in this medevac are looking for a drop into the back of the natural. Bio army is likely to get involved here, of course. At the same time, if you can force some units to pull away, that's going to be a connection for 2 probes. He dives for the Immortal, gets that right away. Sentry 2, uh-oh. Hey, what, does Trap have any units? It's got a Colossus Super Battery? Yeah, Super Battery to save it. Woohoo, that was terrifying. As Trap does get one more Marauder than he maybe should have done. Looks like he did deny the medevac in the main and that Widow Mine with the Stalkers. That's kind of why he didn't have the units at the front. Nice jump from ByuN. Just kind of knew exactly when he wanted to go. Knew exactly when he could go. Well handled. Well handled. Bio Army is going to press forward. Collecting together with a 3rd CC in the center of the map as well. Still just pushing through. Seven minutes deep, and ByuN looking for an attack on the 3rd. Now, again, what's he achieved so far? That Immortal going down, he's just weakened up the front line of the Protoss player. Now, Trap still does have the Colossus available to him. ByuN sieges this tank quite far back, so he's looking to really just cover any units that run in. He's not looking to use the tank to actually help out. It's a nice pylon kill. What you do with killing this pylon, not only do you unpower the battery, but you stop warp-ins on the 3rd, so it just stops direct warp-ins to the fight, which is obviously pretty great. Another Zealot around the other side. The tank has been focus firing down Stalkers here pretty much entirely this entire time. Okay, this is going to be a cleanup from Trap. He keeps the Colossi alive, so he keeps the tech units, but he loses everything else. And when you look at resources lost, this trade in itself was a 500 resource loss difference. As just before this fight, it was about 500 in ByuN's favor. So these fights favoring ByuN in a game where his economy ain't bad. ByuN's actually had an eco lead for a portion of this game, and while Trap's going to retake the advantage, again, it takes a little while. When you look at an advantage like this, it's going to be taking 2-3 minutes at least to make up the difference in those fights. So yeah, so far great for ByuN, and obviously his economy is also continuing to improve with this orbital on the 3rd base now. Mule's dropping down there. So actually maybe Trap doesn't take that eco advantage back, in which case his army will remain a little bit smaller. And it's kind of down to Trap to make something happen here. Losing a Zealot, losing an Observer. And now losing vision on the map. One Observer left to the top side watching drop, so he's going to replace with another Obs. Fortunately, he does have the 3 Colossi. Didn't lose any Colossi here, so he doesn't have to spend Robo build time replacing Colossus. Otherwise, he would probably be in a lot more trouble, honestly. A little bit of bio on the tanks. Moving up through the middle. The Vikings joining up with these medevacs as well. Not going to stem up this ramp here. Going to go in toward this gateway to start things off. So, gateway in a bit of trouble. There's the army of Trap going to come around the back. Boom! Siege tank gets slain. As you see, our Stalker's going to blink around. A couple of these Vikings being picked off. The tanks are going to die. So ByuN kind of given up a lot to run into this natural. But he will find a lot of workers, don't get me wrong. But I mean, oh my goodness, even these Marauders turned to fight maybe could have actually made the difference in killing the Colossus or so. And these units in the natural actually trading fantastically, mind you. We're going to get a Temple Archives as well. Actually, probably going to get a Colossus. Ran too far forward. The Marauders dive for it. No, he didn't get the final shot off, so ByuN will not get the Colossus. Does get the Temple Archives at least. This one Viking, is he going to go on it? I think this one Viking's on a one-track mission to kill this Colossus, guys. ByuN absolutely knows what he wants to do with this Viking. He's going to get it done. In he goes. One shot, two shot. It's a successful mission where he's even going to get out alive. That Viking, he had one job. And now he might actually get to live to get another job. I love it. I know the feeling too. You're like, God damn it, that Colossus lived? You kidding me? No way. Not letting that survive. I refuse to let that survive. Hero Viking is dubbed in the chat. As we are going to see Temple Archives building on the natural. The Stalkers settling down to the edge of the main base. And the +2 attack upgrade coming in from Trap as well. But 2-2 well underway for ByuN. So on top of, well, I would say has been still a successful set of fights. Still about a 1.3k resource loss difference, so still trading well here, ByuN. Even better now with that Observer dead. He's also taking the upgrade lead, and next time he fights, he'll probably have at least +2 in his favor on the attack. And that's something else to keep in mind, that he will just be trading pretty decently when it comes to Zealots warping in, Stalkers trying to fight, all that kind of stuff. Well, Viking's going to push on forward. I'm just going to be seeing Bioforce stimming up a lot right there. A couple of tanks are going to siege, and the Zealots of Trap are going to make their way down the right-hand side. So away they will go. So Battery is going to get killed off. And the Vikings still just patrolling out the frontier. Zealots got some damage onto that depot. So a bit of damage done there. Zealots charging through. SCV's being picked away at 2. These Zealots going down. Again, just seeing everything getting picked apart here. You do on the upper left-hand side, you're going to see a Bioforce pushing on in. Next is taking some damage. Other Zealots are going to push on forward, and yeah, there's Bio Army. Pretty great so far. 7 SCVs have fallen here from the counterattack, but ByuN has such a great setup in this position. There's not even... Am I crazy? There's no battery here, if I'm not mistaken. Am I blind? I don't think so. For once, I actually think I'm just straight up actually seeing things properly. No battery has got to be a bit of a problem. 2 Disruptors looking to flank from the other side, but unfortunately for those Disruptors, well, they might catch reinforcements. Vikings make a dive. They are going to get the first Colossus. He denies both the Disruptors. Traps is going to GG out. He does not have an army to fight this, so ByuN is going to win the series 2-1 over Trap. Big win for him in this group, because obviously this group is stacked with players, and every match that you win is just an additional match that just gives you a bit of leeway, gives you a bit of an easier time further down the line. GG's. ByuN is going to be working that out, and 2-1 in Trap. Hell yeah. If you're a ByuN fan, that's